So I can't now tell. Let me just pause the music and then play. Oh. Okay, so I'm really lost now. Can someone, if you're watching this, can you please tell me whether the music's okay? Thank you. But is the music okay? I can't play it. When I play it back, I can't hear whether it's too hard for me to check. I can't. Thank you, Emerson. Oh, it's so I can't play it back and check because I'm hearing it twice. Thank you. So it's sounds okay. Where's my phone? Oh. Brilliant. Just confirm to me again. Like I said, the music sounds okay. Maybe you heard it before. I've just put it back on again. There's so many things I have to like. Thank you. It does okay. And now I have to share. I just remembered I have to share. Sorry, this is really new to be doing this at this time, and it's all different. I have to make sure I check the stream before I start the talk. Let me just share this. But I can't check before I go live, which is really annoying. You can't check it before the before you go on, which is really unhelpful that you can't do that. Oops. Thank you. Right, that's Facebook. That's my page. Okay, making sure I put it on the right place. Thank you for letting me know. I really appreciate being told. I can't check, so I have to now sign out of Facebook. Oh, I see. I'm logging that now anyway, so it's fine. There's just so much stuff you have to do and learn about. It's so funny. So welcome to the Thursday stream. Hope you are happy. Hope you are comfortable. So I do these streams every Thursday at 6 o'clock PM UK time. I used to do it at 9:30 PM, but now I've changed it to 6 o'clock. So you just log in live, or you just watch without logging in. I don't know. Just watch on YouTube. And to ask questions, you have to first of all friend me on Skype. My Skype address is Rebekah Maroon, and then you can write a question during the stream, or you can ask me to call you, and I'll call you, and you can talk to me on the stream. So the subject is non-duality, not two, and the title of the stream this week is "The Clouds Aren't the Clouds Aren't True." I think the clouds aren't true. Yes. No. The clouds, the clouds appear. The clouds appear, but aren't true. That's it. I have no lip balm on, so I feel a bit dry. And the water isn't doing it. I'll go get some lip balm. I have water, but I have no moisture. So I have no lip balm upstairs. I have olive oil, so it'll have to do. And when you're talking a lot, you have to moisturize your throat and your mouth. It gets a bit dry. So I'm well lubricated. Okay, I have water half empty, half full. Hopefully it will last. I'm trying to avoid disturbing the kids, so they don't say, "What are you doing up here?" and come up. What's going on? So it's a really beautiful thing to talk about, non-duality. It really is beautiful. Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know like who is listening to this talk or who comes across this video. and I have no idea what your background is, or what you've heard before, or what you're familiar with hearing, or what speaker you normally listen to, or what you've read, or whatever. I have no idea about that. So just bear that in mind when you're listening to what is spoken here. It may be spoken differently to what you're used to, or what you've heard, or what you're familiar with. I may use different language, or different terms, terminology, or descriptions. But that really shouldn't matter. If there's a resonance with what's being spoken here, then there's a resonance, and maybe there'll be a changing of ideas. Maybe there'll be a adapting of ideas, getting new ideas brought in. Maybe there'll be a rejection of certain ideas. Maybe there'll be a embracing or a resonance beyond all ideas. Maybe not. Who knows? Who knows? There's just this speaking happening about this subject we call non-duality. This amazing subject. So the title, what is meant by the title? Clouds appear but aren't true. So what's being spoken about is completely useless it's useless in terms of it's not helping the human. It's not, you can't like use this message to do anything with it. It's not useful to the human. So if, for example, you have a broken arm, or your plumbing's broken, or there's a hole in the roof, or your child is poorly, or your cat or something is sick, or has one leg missing, or you have an issue with your husband, or your girlfriend, or your mom, or your uncle, then this video isn't going to help that. It isn't going to remove those difficulties you might have with your partner, with your children, with your cat, with your health. So it's useless in the sense of it's not going to help you live life. It's not going to help you necessarily improve your situation, your issues, your problems. So from that perspective, it's useless. But it's still being spoken. So beyond it being useless or useful, it's still being spoken. And there could still be an attraction to it. So even though it's not for you in your life, there may still be an attraction or resonance to it, to hearing it, to listening to it, to speaking it. So why would there be an attraction to something that isn't useful, that you can't have or use or apply? I can hear the children laughing downstairs. They've just discovered Charlie Brown and they're really enjoying Charlie Brown, the Peanuts movie. So why would that be useful? So why would there be that attraction to something that isn't going to help. And I would put forward that the attraction is an attraction, a resonance to that which is beyond you and your story and your life and your situation and your relationships and your problems. There's something beyond all of that. There's a freedom beyond that. There's a love and a completion beyond you and your dream of what's happening. So life is happening. Life is happening. And that's not something that's abstract or philosophical, that life is happening. Life is happening. It's appearing. There seems to be forms. There seems to be objects. There seems to be movement. There seems to be things going on. There seems to be sounds happening. Life is happening. So this is such a simple thing to point out, that life is happening, or to describe that there's life happening. There is seeming movement, or there is movement. Let's say there is movement. That's all that's being pointed out here. Is that there is happenings happening. There is life. There are clouds. And in humans, there seems to become a problem with that, as there's identification that happens. It seems to appear as if there is someone separate experiencing, like someone's experiencing the movement, someone's experiencing life happening. And to identify, to become this thing that's experiencing everything else, to become an object, a thing, a localized object, a localized thing, and to be experiencing the world of things. There is a feeling of losing something. We're not quite sure what that is, but there's a feeling of losing something. Something's missing. Something's not quite right. And there's a searching or a seeking for that okayness, for that natural harmony. Like there's an imprint of, like a knowing, not mental knowing in language, but there's a knowing that this should be harmonious. Something's not right. And with that sense of something's not right, something's missing, I've lost something, begins the story of the seeking one, trying to find what is lost, what is missing. So it's looking at forms, looking at clouds, trying to find the missing piece. It's looking at clouds, trying to hold on or trying to push away. That's not it. This could be it. That's not it. Afraid of certain clouds, wanting other clouds. But that action isn't actually a wrong either, because as a human, that's a natural movement to avoid things and to move towards other things, pain and pleasure. So that isn't wrong either. But it's like these things, these seeming things and objects, it feels as if they're real. It feels as if forms and objects and things are real. If I'm real as a thing, then other things are also real. Life is real. Experiences are real. They're happening to me. And so what's being pointed out isn't the end of things, isn't the end of clouds appearing, isn't the end of emotions and moving towards pleasure and away from pain. It isn't the end of life or the end of what's happening, the end of the seeming movement. It isn't the end of any of that. It's the end of any of those things, seeming things being real and true and meaningful. It's the end of this being true. So we often have the idea that this will end, life will end, when there's, you can hear the background toilet flush sound effect. um, yeah, we imagine that this is the end of life, the end of life happening, because we believe that life is the problem. We believe that others and our emotions or our thinking or the situation we're in or the family we're from or our bodies are the problem, or whatever it is, lack of money or lack of friends or lack of partners or whatever it is. If we were smart enough or whatever it is. So often there's a longing to end life, a suicide kind of depressive, maybe a depressive energy that people tend to have as they've tried so many areas, tried to find fulfillment or tried to make it in various areas and failed. There's often a depression, and then spirituality or these things are looked into, hoping it will end, life will now end and there'll be freedom, but it really isn't what we imagine. It can never be what we imagine. So if this is all the same before or after hearing this message, why, what's the point in it all? What's the point? I don't know. I don't know. There isn't a point. It's just freedom. It's freedom. It's freedom. It's just not a personal freedom. It's not a personal freedom, but it's freedom. Like it's total freedom. And so although it's not freedom for anyone, it's still worth it. It's still worth talking about. It's freedom. It's total freedom. Okay, so I'll open for any questions on my phone. Yeah, meet the other social media. Thank you. So hi, Prachi, hi Rebecca. Number one, there's no solidity, question mark. There's no solidity. 2, if there's no belief in a person, who would feel the pain, psychological pain? Wouldn't there be a sense of relief? Question. Then 3, nothing's happening, question mark, question mark. I don't understand your questions. I mean, you've put 3 questions in a row, and question number 2 is kind of, I feel more to answer that one rather than number 1 and number 3. So we'll go for that one. 2, if there's no belief in a person, who would feel the pain, psychological pain? Wouldn't there be a sense of relief? First of all, it's not about having a belief or having not a belief in a person. It's not about there not being a belief in a person. That's more of an attitude, a mental attitude, having no belief in a person. And this isn't a mental attitude or a mental belief in something. This feels more, that just feels more like a mental thing. Whereas what's being spoken of is more an energetic thing. It's not a mental, intellectual thing you can believe in. I mean, you can believe in it, and maybe initially you believe in it, but then it can't just stay as a mental belief. Although it can, but it's like that's not what's being spoken about. A change of opinion or a mental belief in there being not a person. So then, if there's no belief, who would feel the psychological pain? Wouldn't there be a sense of relief? Yeah, you could call it a sense of relief, it's not really relief, but it's like a like an expanding without a limit. It's you're not limited. You aren't a limited person. You aren't a limited thing or object. Whereas before this change, you feel like you are the thoughts in the head, and you live here as a limitation, as a box. So it's more of a relief, as in that limitation, which was never actually a real limitation, but that seeming limitation, that sense of being limited, it is not there anymore. So yeah, there is a sense of, you could say, relief. I get the feeling of that, like a whew. But it's not a relief for someone. It's more an open or expandedness. You're expanded beyond a limitation. Who would feel the pain? Who would feel the pain? Psychological, in brackets. What do you mean? Who would feel the? Well, when there's pain, there's pain. Like when there's emotional pain or physical pain, there's pain. Psychological pain. I'm not sure what you mean by that. I'm not sure what you mean. Thank you, Prachi. Oedipus. Oedipus. Hello, Rebecca. What should I do with the anger that arises in me when I take offence? Thank you. What should I do with the anger that arises in me when I take offence? What should I do with it? I mean, what can you do with it? I mean, what control do you have? This sense of you being someone that's here when there's anger appearing, that you exist and you have this ability to do something or not do something. So you're this static, permanent thing, observing or witnessing, and you're able to pick to let it be or to not let it be and interfere with it and change it in some manner. So I don't really have an answer for that, what you should do with the anger when it appears. I mean, if you have an anger issue in general, maybe you can look into that in psychology, look into like why you're angry all the time, why anger is the main emotion you have, why anger is the easiest thing to come up in you. You can look into all that, like what you're angry about. Is it your parents? Is it a feeling of abandonment? You're angry at society for not being there for you. You can look into all that, and that can help to understand some of the emotional patterns you might have from childhood. I highly recommend looking at childhood issues and traumas that are still affecting the behavior, affecting the emotions, and therefore affecting the seeking. So I recommend looking at that if you feel to. But in terms of what to do with that, I just don't know. I just don't know what to do with it. I mean, yeah. When it plays, it plays. When it appears, it appears. It's as much as part of this as the wall or the camera. Hot fire. When you're angry, there's fire, like a strong energy of anger. It's really powerful. It's really beautiful. It can be beautiful. All things can. There's nothing wrong with anger. Thank you, Oedipus. Oedipus. So there are no more questions at the moment. My water's nearly finished. It's really funny to be doing a stream in such a messy room. It's quite, I quite like it though. The beauty of non-duality and yet the messiness of the room. Like a metaphor, really. The messiness of life, what's happening, messiness of it, the chaos of the universe, and yet the order of the universe. It's so ordered and chaotic at the same time. So the beauty of non-duality and what's being pointed to, the absoluteness of it, and the mucky, dirty, messy room. That's quite fun. I would show it to you, but I'm kind of like, I'm not sure about, like, with the children, I'm not sure where the boundary is between making sure I don't overstep that and don't like broadcast the children, and so I want to make sure that I'm not stepping on their autonomy, is that the word, or their privacy. I'll just show you the room quickly. I'll just show you Joshua's room if I can. The camera's a bit tight. Can I do it? Can I do it? I'll just show you briefly how messy the room is. So this is this is this side of the room, all his Lego and stuff, and then yeah, this side has all this stuff here, pile of bricks and train track stuff. It's Harry Potter books. So yes, this is a 9-year-old's room. Now my daughter, who's 7, even messier. She's even messier than him. So probably the end of the stream. I think it's been really lovely to spend this hour. So I shall see you next Thursday at the same time, 6 p.m. And just to end the stream, you're free to leave, of course, anytime, but just to end the stream.